And hello, Savannah. Thank you for tuning into WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. Welcome, everybody. Danielle Ivanov in the studio with me. Woo!
What's up? Hey, been a minute.
Yeah,
a lot of news, a lot of good news, bad news.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, you've never listened to the show before. This is Real Estate Real Talk with myself, yours dearly, Julia M. Spencer, and Danielle here, my co-conspirator in all matters related to real estate.
To anything.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And we talk on this show about anything and everything related to real estate investing, being a landlord, being a tenant, and all the problems we face on a day-to-day basis, being investors ourselves here in Chatham County in Savannah, as well as other states and other areas.
Yep.
And Airbnb hosts as well. So we have some updates for you. We've been gone. I've been gone. I mean, you were here, but I was in Germany for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was more like Atlanta, Macon.
Yeah, Macon. Macon makes us sad.
Yes.
Somebody told me the other day that they drove through Macon once, and they never want to go back again. I feel sad for Macon,
Our famous I-16 can get a shout out too, because it's the most boring interstate.
It is. People get into accidents mostly because they fall asleep.
I read it somewhere. It's like considered one of the most dangerous interstates in the United States or something.
Really?
Because people falling asleep or something. I read it somewhere.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that one.
I believe it. You really need to go early in the morning when you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Otherwise, you're not going to make it.
No. And there is plenty of deer up there. There's always plenty of truckers. And now the Puller, they do all this construction up there. This is why I was in the car wreck. That's a different story.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Yeah. So on today's show, since I just got back, I don't have any formal topic here today, but I do want to tell you guys a little bit about some recent sales that we've had and also a couple updates on some of our projects. If you've been following, obviously, my show right here in Chatham County in Savannah, you might know that I got a couple projects always going on concurrently. But also, if you're listening to me on my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Julia M. Spencer, you can go back and we've been updating you on all the troubles we've had with our construction project here on 48th Street, right, as well as all of the tax sales that I've been getting into all these last many years since I lived
we did pretty good. Last 3 weeks, 2 properties gone.
Yeah, so we sold 2 properties in the last couple of weeks. One of them we've actually already reported on, which was not here in the state of Georgia. It was in South Carolina. It was on Daufuskie Island. And I've never been there. And I think you've never been there either. We kind of just bought it at the sale. And
yeah, because it's like they wanted like $70 for a bicycle to get there.
We don't have a boat yet.
Yeah.
So the only way for us to get to Daufuskie is to use a ferry. And to get around Daufuskie, because you can't bring your car, you have to have
a permission. You can, but then you got to use like a barge.
Yeah. It's just, it's a big mess. So you got to have a golf cart or know somebody that has one, or you got to bring your bicycle. And they wanted to charge us, I don't know, some ridiculous amount.
$70 per person
to bring bicycle. And I'm like, when I added it up, I'm like, not worth it.
Yeah. Plus, if you want to build on it, you got to use the barge.
Right. And it's, quite honestly, people, I can fly from Atlanta to Mexico for the same price than getting to Daufuskie on the ferry.
Which we're doing now, too.
Right.
Yeah. It was, but it was crazy. But
Daufuskie Island, Mexico.
But
I'll take Mexico.
Cool stuff we saw at, in City of Bluffton, or was it Beaufort County, which if you can prove that you own the place, it's
Beaufort County. So
Beaufort County, right?
Yeah. Daufuskie Island is Beaufort County, and the which is Hilton Head as well, actually.
Yeah.
So if you can prove that you have property on Daufuskie Island, you get a pass. You can apply for it. And they give you like a ID card.
$7. Yeah, you get like an ID card. You can get on that local ferry.
And it's reduced price. I don't think it's free, but
no,
I
it's
think
not free. It's like $7.
Yeah.
Or something. But then you gotta wait for like 30 days. You gotta give them your deed.
yeah.
Apply for the whole.
And it was a big mess. So I'm like, well, let me try to sell it first because I don't want to go there that bad. It's just a unbuilt lot. So we didn't go there, and we did end up selling it. There was some confusion with the real estate agent that listed it for me over there in South Carolina, who wasn't really quite aware about how tax sale foreclosures work. And if you are getting into tax sale foreclosures, just brace yourself that if you get into it for any amount of time, even if it's just a year or two, you will know more than most of the professionals out there on how to do the legal aspect of tax sale foreclosures. And so in this case, obviously, we knew more, not just about how to do the legal aspect in terms of closing, but also how to list it. And the real estate agent we hired, even though he had the resources and the staff to list it on Zillow, Trulia, all those other places, he really wasn't aware of how you sell a tax sale foreclosure deed that hasn't gone through the whole process of making it a full and complete warranty title. And the lawyer, of course, was telling me that, you can't sell it. I'm like, well, I can and I have. But you have to write the contract in a special way. And this is what the real estate agent didn't understand, that it can't be a warranty title if it's gone through a tax sale foreclosure, because it is what's called I believe it's, I'm trying to find a word, flawed title, or it's a clouded title, I think is the proper legal term. So you have to remove the cloud from the title to make it a warranty title. But there's no point in doing that for a property that's worth $15,000. You know, you want assured, I'll insure it for you. Give me $500, and if somebody ever comes and tries to get it from you, then I'll give you your $15,000 back. But you know, that's how insurance companies make money. So you can get insurance for it. You just have to shop around. So we ended up signing a wrong contract, which said that I'm selling a warranty title. The lawyers were all up in the hoots, and they're like, "You can't sell it this way."
Yeah, pretty much. It's a note to yourself. Don't assume that other people know stuff.
Professionals. Don't assume professionals know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Never assume this. And always ask questions and always make triple sure. Well, this was my mistake. What I should have done is I should have said to the real estate agent, make sure you write the contract that says I'm conveying title via quit claim deed, not any other way. I'm just giving the next person whatever I have. It's for them to figure out whether what they're getting is warranted or not. So
there's a lot of fancy words. I mean, some of them probably will not even understand that.
Well, and some people will get scared of it, and I understand that. But this is, I mean, if you're in this business, you're dealing with other people that hopefully know what they're doing. Maybe not, but you know.
But the human factor is always out there. Don't assume anything. Double check, triple check. Exactly.
So what ended up happening? Yeah, what ended up happening on that one? I believe I bought it for. That was $1,600? No, $900. It was not expensive, $900, and I bought it 2 years ago, and I should have been able to sell it already like a year ago, but they extended the redemption period of that property.
And then overturned it again.
And overturned the extension because it was not constitutional. I mean, there was a big mess around this. And eventually, what the buyer then said was like, well, it's not a good title. I'll give you $5,000 less. And I'm like, you know what? The property's worth what it's worth. If you don't want it, I'll sell it to the next person for full price. I gave him $500 for his effort to look for good title insurance. And then I kind of forgot about it because I figured he'll just go away and we'll keep on advertising, try to sell it to somebody else. But, and I kind of was busy that day and kind of just ignored it. And then sure enough, the same evening, I got word from the real estate agent that the buyer was accepting my $500 reduction and they would rewrite the contract and buy it as is. So that was good.
So
we made
it was a good day. It was a good day.
$14,500 was the sales price. Ended up netting about $10,000, I think, because you got to pay the lawyer and the title insurance, and I don't even know why
you get some money back from the taxes.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to pay as a Georgia resident. People, this is another thing that I learned in this process, this particular one. As a Georgia resident, not a South Carolina resident, I actually had to pay South Carolina estimated taxes on the profit right at the closing, not no tax return or anything later on. You have to pay it at the closing. And me, silly, I didn't know. The attorney at the closing actually asked me how much did you make, and I'm like, well, I don't know exactly yet. Depends on what all the fees are, but I can tell you what I paid. And so he's like, oh, never mind. Let me just plug that in. And so I ended up having to pay the taxes right then and there. I could have just made up a number and just filed a tax return later. Right. That's my lesson learned, but I had to pay it up front. So now I have to pay I have to file a tax return not only in the state of Georgia next year, but also for South Carolina, even though I'm not a resident. And all I did is one property.
Yeah,
so
just an extra time. Well, let's keep on adding.
It's my first South Carolina property that went all the way. Usually they redeem within the redemption period. So
yeah, so that was a good day. That was property number 1. Property number 2 just Monday.
Yeah, we closed on another tax sale foreclosure on Monday, so it's been a good week. This one I bought right here in Chatham County, unincorporated Chatham County, way out by, I want to say.
By the hospital, right?
Well, I don't know that area of Chatham County really well, but I do know what's close to there. It's that flea market that has like that big statue in front of it, or had anyways, when it burned down or something. I don't know. There's like a big flea market out there. Wamasi. There's a Compassion Christian Church, like a really big mega church out that way too. So it's way down Highway 17 or whatever it is. Yeah. I don't even know. Honestly, people, I'm not familiar with that area at all. But it's out in the country. It's Ogeechee Farms. That's what it is. That's what I meant to say. It's Ogeechee Farms area. And that one was a really nice lot, actually. It was good size, 90 feet by 200 feet.
Yep. It had a house on it previously.
It used to have a house on it. It was a manufactured home or a mobile home or something. And it's still standing from that was 2 sheds, I believe, and I think you guys saw a septic tank system still in the ground. I don't know if that's
it was sold and it should be replaced, but it still would be not a big deal if we would decide to invest in it,
right?
Like a home.
And if you have a mobile home somewhere you can get for cheap.
Because all the infrastructure was there. There was the pipes there for the plumbing. There was the septic tank maybe needs to be replaced. The electrical
Electrical was on the street already, so it
had a road. Had actually very nice mailbox.
Yeah, the mailbox was awesome. Like, I wish I could take the mailbox. But it was one of those brick-built ones in the ground, like a small little brick house and a mailbox. And I love those.
Right by the creek, had the road next to it. So it was pretty cool.
Nice, yeah, I like it. And there was already a fence to the neighbor, so you wouldn't have to fence that side. Yep. And the other side was a creek. So, if you wanted to fence it in.
Kind of like a natural fence.
Exactly. Creek, it was perfect. It was a really nice lot. And I've held on to that one for 4 years. Actually, I bought it in May of 2018.
Okay.
Right here at the Chatham County tax sale. I believe I paid maybe $1,000 for it. Not much. There's actually a video about this lot on YouTube when I actually bought it. So I will, if you're listening to the show later on YouTube, I'll hyperlink the video, the original video from when I bought it, so you can see it, because I'm not going there again. Obviously, we sold it. And
we can go again because we sold it to actually our, like, a contractor friend. Well, not the friend, but more. Well, we can consider him a friend.
Alex, yes.
Alex, yeah.
Shout out to Alex, yes.
So he just needed. He was our like a tree guy, so he does a lot of woodwork and trees and yards, and. He needed for the equipment. So I think he
had some heavy machinery, like a wood chipper and some other machinery he said was expensive.
Yeah, something big. So he's going to use it as his office is like down the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a very cool idea, because we've been talking about it, because we're always chasing, well, we're not always, but we've been chasing more like lots with the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a market for it. There is a lot of construction guys who needed to put their machinery out there.
Right.
And there is a market. You can sell it to these guys. And these guys have cash in hand.
Yeah, because they make a lot of money in cash, actually. But you know what? When you went there and the reason we sold it to him is like he didn't even know that we were selling it. But the reason we asked him to go and look at it and give us an estimate to clean it
the
up a
trees,
little
yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
It wasn't overgrown, by any means, but it was, been empty for a while, so it's
And then
needed.
some guy was using it from across the street, like as
Yeah,
as
some
he's-
guy across the street. Yeah, what did he have on there?
Oh, he had like a huge trailer, and he was, I think he was a very big truck. It was one of those like 3,500 things, like a big one, and the trailer was pretty long. It was like a 20-foot trailer, like moving like tractors and stuff like that.
So this guy's been living across the street, and he's like, this lot right there, nobody uses it. Let me put my stuff there for free.
For free, yeah. And he almost bought that building from us.
Yeah,
too,
he
but-
actually asked to buy that land.
no, the land,
Yeah, the land also. And then what happened today, or was it yesterday? What happened today with that?
Oh no, he called me and he was just like, "Hey man, like I'm ready to pay you the money you asked for." And I was like, "I already sold it on Monday." He's like, "Well, you promised me," and I was like, "It's a first come first serve. I didn't promise anybody."
Yeah.
I said I agreed on the price, and you disappeared for a week. Well,
Initially he gave us a lowball offer.
oh yeah,
and-
it was yeah. He lowballed me by like $2,000, but still, we needed a connection with our guy because he's working with us.
Right.
So that was
and we're glad he does. He does an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also we actually need, the deal for him was we give him a couple $1,000s off because a lot was appraised at 18,500, I believe.
18.3.
18.3, that's
yeah.
right. And we gave it to him for 15, but the deal was, well, help us clear up this other place that
The
we have.
48th Street project where we have two
Right.
trees needs to go, and we got some.
A really beautiful magnolia tree. I
yeah,
really
but the
hope he doesn't.
One branch needs to go though.
Yeah, I know, but I just hope he kind of preserves it because it's got beautiful flowers too
Yeah,
when it
smells
blooms and
good,
stuff.
too.
Smells good, yeah.
So that
And-
was our selling
That was the
this week.
yeah, that was our selling. So we made some money. And what I wanted to say to that is when you get into tax sale foreclosures, don't immediately expect to make quick cash. It's not going to happen. Like I said, this lot that we sold to Alex, I've had it for 4 years. And I've just kind of been sitting on it. And really, with lots, you kind of need to turn them over pretty quickly because what happens is you buy them, you immediately have to start paying taxes on them.
Yep.
Even if you don't build anything on it, if you don't rent it, you don't use it, the Chatham County wants their money, of course. And so they want to have as much as possible. So they're going to charge you. And if it's
and
a
if you
lot,
got like a shed or anything, they're gonna consider it's a building.
yeah, and
You're
they
gonna pay
actually
more.
charged us. They appraised the lot with the shed. The shed was part of what we had to pay for.
Yeah.
So I've never even been in there. I know we walked around it, but we didn't
There's
go
a
inside.
bunch of like old TVs or something. I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what's in there. So, but they do charge for it, and if you're not using it, that's a liability. You're basically paying and not making money off this asset. So I guess
We have one more lot. Well, we have
one more. Yeah, we got one more to
one
sell.
more lot here, and we still have like the fixer up in Macon. These are the
Right.
two, but we need to start go shopping because inventory is getting low.
Inventory is getting low. That's right. So, but it's good. I'm glad I'm moving these old ones already, finally, because these been on my books forever. And it's kind of easy that when you buy a lot to not really worry about it too much because, yeah, you got to pay taxes, but it's not very much. And nobody bothers you, unless they start dumping stuff on the lot or the city comes and says, hey, you need to cut your grass. There's not really much you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot just kind of sits there. So
Well,
it's
the
good.
the lot we got right now within the city limits. They didn't. It's overgrown and everything, but nobody
Yeah.
bugging us about it.
Yeah, I think that one is also outside. Well, I don't know if it's inside or outside. I doubt it's. No, I don't think it's outside. It is outside, not inside city limits. So, but it is actually a not cleared lot. So here's a difference too. You can have a lot that has been cleared at some point in time because there was a building on it, and then it starts to overgrow, and it goes to the Chatham County. Property maintenance department.
Yeah.
And then they will come after you because you're in code violation or something. This is within the city limits, but the county has something similar. But if the lot is actually a lot that nobody's ever built on and it's actually not cleared and there are old trees on there and it's just been zoned for something specific. In
I
our
don't think
case,
they even pay attention.
they
when
don't pay
drive by.
attention
Yeah.
because it's part of like the woods, so they don't worry about that. So here's another distinction of what kind of lot you're buying at these tax sales, which one you're gonna be able to move quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one thing I wanted to, it's kind of good, as you said, that do not expect to make the money fast unless you really want to keep churning and running around like a hamster, pretty much in the wheel. Because a lot of times you're going to get lowballed by all those investors. They will call you. And I mean, the property can be $18,000. They're going to throw like, oh, get $3,000 because they're thinking you need money.
Right.
So it's like...
Yeah, we can talk about that actually, because we had one of those lowball offers on the property in Macon. Well, let's do that after the break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
that's something we can talk about.
I want to.
Let's play something good. What you picked for our listeners today?
Our listeners today, yeah. So I have my little running playlist that I always add stuff to. Like I hear a song, I'm like, this one's good. So stay on, don't go anywhere.
Calling all artists, nonprofits, community leaders, and vendors. Hello Neighbor Savannah is partnering with Greater West Savannah to create a Spring Unity Festival Saturday, April 9th from 10 to 4 at the Market Arena Outdoor Plaza. There will be 6 bands, food trucks, art projects, kids booths, DJs, and vendors. Go to helloneighborsav.com for more information or to register to participate. Again, Hello Neighbor SAV is partnering with Greater West Savannah to create a Spring Unity Festival Saturday, April 9th from 10 to 4 at Market Arena. Hope to see you there.
What does it mean when we say that WRUU is a community radio station? It doesn't just mean that we invite the community to create programming, and it doesn't just mean that we are a voice for the community. It also means that we are counting on the community to keep us going, and you are the community. Almost all of our modest budget comes from small annual or monthly donations from listeners like you. You get to enjoy our community-focused programming because many others have stepped forward to do their part. Now do your part by joining our community of listener donors. Go to wruu.org right now and make a one-time or monthly donation. And thank you for supporting Savannah's community radio station, 107.5 FM.
And that concludes our announcements for the bottom of the hour. You're listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. Julia M. Spencer here and Daniil Ivanov. And you're listening to Real Estate Real Talk. Let's talk.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
What is not so nice?
We're waiting. Yeah, we're waiting for the rain, people. It's so nice. It's like the second before the storm. It's very windy. I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna go get some lunch. It's good weather to be home.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
Have a glass of wine. Cook
and
something
I'm starting
good.
my 3-day fast after lunch today, so this lunch is gonna taste.
That's your final lunch.
My
dinner.
last meal.
Yeah.
But fasting
that's
has
your
been
green mile.
fasting has been a life changer for me. Like really has. So I feel like $100 million bucks.
That's mean me and your teenage boy can go ugly. We
Yeah,
can
you-
eat anything we want now. No more salads, fried steak.
Oh, you guys are eating that because of me?
Yep.
I didn't know that. You guys can do that. That's fine. Yeah, I don't eat any of that. I try to stay healthy. Anyways, on this show, we don't talk about food. We do talk about real estate.
Yep.
And the last segment, the first half hour of the show, we kind of killed by talking about 2 success stories, which we've had selling tax sale foreclosures in the last week and a half, I believe. Maybe like 2 weeks. Nah, it's been like about 3 or 4. No,
Yeah.
it's been like them last month. So we sold
Yeah.
something on Monday, and then we sold something before I went to Germany. I know.
Yeah.
So, but now we want to talk about our still available property in Macon that I also bought at a tax sale, but this was a different tax sale. This is not what you normally would get, for example, at a courthouse steps in Chatham County. This one was bought in Bibb County, Macon, Bibb County, actually. They consolidated. And it was not a regular tax sale that has an actual redemption period as we have here in the state of Georgia, which is 1 year and 1 day. So normal tax sale foreclosures, you buy them here in the state of Georgia. You keep the property for a year and a month. Nobody redeems it. You can do the borrowing of redemption rights and, start the legal process to get ownership of the property. But in this particular sale, what this was in Macon when we bought that property that we still have, was actually a
The bank pretty much buys it.
well, it's called a land bank.
Yeah.
So bank, but it's basically a land bank authority. And what it is like and I've made shows about this before. It's a quasi-government organization. This is what it was explained to me. We have this in Chatham County too. And what they do is they basically buy up all these properties or get these properties from the tax commissioners and the taxing authorities that haven't been bought because they're in such bad shape or they're falling apart and they're just a blight in a town and people just want to get rid of them. And they buy them up and then go through the legal process and some of the legal steps ahead of time, the borrowing of redemption rights, the holding it for a year and a day, the making sure that everybody's notified. And then when they do sell it at the Land Bank Authority tax sale, it's not really a tax sale, it's more a land bank sale, then you get an actual warranty title, which you can sell and you don't have to do any more legal steps.
Yeah,
This
and
is
you get it directly.
Exactly.
Right
And this
there,
is supposed to make these bad blighted properties more of a incentive for investors to buy because you're getting rid of all this uncertainty whether or not you can actually keep the property and you don't have to do the legal steps and all these things. So we have this here in Chatham County too. And if you're going to listen to this show later on my YouTube channel, I can also hyperlink a video I made, brief video with the
Well, it wasn't brief.
content.
It was pretty good. Like we did the whole video on the auction itself.
Right.
You can see actually how the process works.
Right.
It was very well organized because I liked it. It was one
Yeah.
of the best auctions organized.
I think so too. Yeah, it was very good.
It was like
And-
like a basketball.
Yeah, they
setup.
put us in the basketball court and a circle, and so everybody that wanted to bid on any one property is supposed to step forward
like
from
a,
the
like
crowd.
a 3-point zone. You step in and there.
Right, you stand in the three-way zone, and then when you're done bidding and you don't want to bid any further, you
just
step
step out.
away
Yeah.
so that the person that's calling the auction knows who they're talking to. They're not talking to the crowd, maybe missing somebody. I think they should do that in all auctions.
Yeah, I think it was great because it's usually like maximum I've seen maybe like 8 people at the same time betting.
And
so
then
he cannot
as the
miss
price
anybody.
goes up, people leave.
Yeah, and you
and
left
in
like
the
with
end,
2 players or something.
Two
like it.
players, and then one person is the last one standing. And there's no doubt about who's still bidding.
Yeah, and it was organization was I think it was they should take it as because we've been on so many auctions and I've been the last one when it was like 140 people in Savannah one. People were just missing because the auctioneer doesn't hear them, doesn't see their pedal up or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
just-
or somebody says something at the last moment. It's been a mess here in Chatham County. And then they get yelled at and said, well, I can't see you, I can't hear you.
yeah,
And then it's like, well, I said the number, I said a higher price. No, I already said 3. And it's like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
just
it's
a big
but
mess.
that was organized very well. So
Right.
that's actually a cool idea. If I ever gonna do the auction ourselves, that's how we're gonna do this.
Yeah. But what we're going to talk about is that property that we bought at that sale. I think it was in May or June of last year. And we still have it. I'm trying to sell it, but we were going to talk about this lowball offer that we had. Because,
Twice.
right.
Twice,
And so our lesson here is you may sometimes have to hold on to these properties a little bit longer than you maybe want to. Because if you try to turn them over right away, you're going to get a lot of lowball offers.
Yeah.
So tell
And
us about what happened when.
No, it was just I think it was an investment company, and what it was, they let me know from the get-go that they investors, and I told them why the price was. I think we set up the price at $35K.
Mm-hmm.
But this is how we set up the price. So it's not like we're taking it out of the head. I mean, not just from the air.
Mm-hmm.
What we do, we look at, at the area. we combine pretty much. Obviously, don't go just by like Zillow or like Google, or just get a couple other sources.
Or the tax
Or just
assessors,
yeah,
because
tax
they're
assessor.
usually low, but not always.
Yeah, so just combine that and look at the market, what the houses in that area sold for. So pretty much that's where the 35K came from.
Right.
And the guys were like, well, we investors too, like, we give you $10,000. I was like, wow.
We paid what, like 9,000?
Yeah,
I
we
think?
paid like 9,000. Mm-hmm. And the guy was just like, well, we investors. And I was like, well, we investors too. Said, well, you can make at least a couple $100. And I was like, why don't you make a couple $100 and let me make a couple thousand?
I know. It's
But
interesting sometimes, the
yeah,
people
so
that call.
And this is where I think the biggest way it's coming from, when you hold on to, like, a lot of those sharks out there, they think you need money right away now, and they lowball you like crazy. Mm-hmm. But when they realize that you I was like, I don't care if you buy it. Like, I'll wait. I'll sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
then
sometimes
story changes.
your trump card. That's your joker, or
Yeah.
that's the card that you need to always hold. Is like, I don't need to make the sale to survive another day. I can wait. And you can say no.
Yeah, you can always say no, and then they're gonna come back to you. This guys didn't come back, but then I got local guys called me again, lowball me again. He was just like, I was like, how much was the price? It was like 35, and he was just like, well, how much is it again? I was like, 35. I had to say it. I was like, listen, man, I know I have an accent, but I was like, you cannot 5 times ask me the same question. It's still 35. And like pushing me
Right.
like, so you said 30, right? I was like, no, I said 35. And then he's like, how about 3? I was like, 3 what? He's like, 3,000. I was just like, how about not? So you get those calls too, and especially another thing is, I actually been lucky so far. We put those signs out on the properties, the for sale by owner. Not that many phone calls. Usually you get a lot of this BS. Can I say BS? I think I can.
Yeah.
You usually get those not scammers, but how it is the business which we just dealing with, that property right now. That lady.
Yeah.
What
I'll
is it,
talk
the
about that
contract?
for a second. This
Yeah.
this is a wholesale lady, but I mean, they're not scammers. Wholesalers aren't scammers, but let's talk about that, and let's do that in our last segment.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about this one is, you will get a lot of, if you put those signs out, you'll get a lot of those offers, or lowballers, or people that just live in the neighborhood. They're like, oh, let me get something cheap, and then they
Yeah, and you
they
get
don't even
weird.
have the money that they lowball you on. It's like, hey, can I give you 5,000? But I don't have the money. And it's like, why are you calling me?
And what helped me, maybe why I don't get a lot of phone calls, I don't know. I'm doing it the first time. I put this QR code, and because people have a lot of questions, they call you and they be like, "How big is the lot? What's going on? Is it overgrown? Is it like, can I see the pictures?" Yeah, I have a QR code, so just before you ask
Yeah.
me all the questions, go on the
Hold
web.
your phone to the QR code. You get all the answers. That's actually a great idea. And there's free QR code.
Yeah, just
apps
a generator,
that- right.
just an app. Like, I just generated it and pretty much printed on a regular piece of paper and just taped
Stuck
it
it
with a
on there.
clear
Yeah, perfect.
tape, and it reads it
Yeah,
perfectly.
exactly. Now, one thing I have to say is, for all the years that I've done selling tax sale foreclosure properties, it is usually much easier and faster and more efficient to use a real estate agent. So
Yeah.
please don't think that that's an easy expense that you can just save yourself. And I don't want to, drag that South Carolina real estate agent through the dirt that I mentioned in the first segment of the show, because he did an amazing job, and I did leave him a review regarding this.
Oh, he worked hard on
The
that.
marketing is superb. Like, if you have your property on an MLS, or you have it on Trulia, or wherever they post it, and they have a whole gamut of websites they go through and post it and cross-post it. There's nothing that can beat good marketing. Good marketing is really the key for selling anything.
Yeah.
And so don't skip that step by putting signs out, because, I mean, we're doing everything that we can, but for sale by owner, it may give you a good result, but likely not. We're kind of just spreading the word. We're just hoping that enough people see it, that maybe the right person will see it.
Exactly.
But the proper marketing through the internet channels of today and the possibilities there can't be beat by anything that we do in
Absolutely.
person.
And I think in any sale, that's in any business, like if it's business of sale, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So the harder you work, the more you put in, the more you're gonna get out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's how
exactly. And you got to pay for it. Marketing isn't cheap. You got to pay your real estate agents. Usually, it's 6% if it's improved real estate, but for land, it's usually 10% because they don't want to, just do work for
and
nothing.
it's kind of like don't be cheap as well. If you gotta pay, everybody needs to make money, and if you gotta pay some percentage,
get
like
what you pay
6%,
for. Yeah.
it's. Just don't be like, oh my gosh, like what these people doing? They're doing nothing. No, they actually remember your time is valuable. Like time is money. It always is.
Right.
You can do other things while let them make 6% on $10,000, but then you don't worry about it. Let them do the legwork.
Right. Exactly. And it looks more professional. You're attracting the right kind of people.
Yeah,
Not,
and then you make
Joe Schmo
connections.
down the street. You're connecting with people that are investors. Even though they might be
connections.
using the property to resell, I don't care about that anyways, but they have resources. So
Yeah,
this
we did this connection, good connection with the lawyer. Next time we're going to South Carolina for
Oh,
those,
yeah.
for the auctions.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that for a minute. So at first I wasn't very happy with this lawyer, and I actually wanted to just fire the lawyer because I can do what the lawyer does myself. But apparently in South Carolina, each party, the buyer and the seller, have to be represented by a lawyer. This is a law. I didn't know this, but I did learn it. So
And he was on the phone, not as nice as in person. He was actually a very cool
I think
guy.
the moment that he switched from being rude to being nice was when we told him that we're tax sale foreclosure investors. And all of a sudden he saw the dollar signs that, hey, these people know a bunch of other investors who buy and sell these properties all the time. I'm just thinking of all the money I can make closing these deals for them.
Yeah, and for him,
So
like, he's
all of
10
a
minutes
sudden,
in the office,
he's-
$800.
I know. So
every
he
signature.
suddenly switched. He was like, oh, by the way, if you buy anything else in South Carolina, especially in Hilton Head, I know every developed community. I know
Yeah.
which one has what fees, which HOAs.
And he's like he's gonna do it for free.
and he's
just
gonna
send it, like,
and just send it to me, and I'll look it up for you. And if you know somebody else that wants to have it looked up, I'll do it for them too. And it's like, as I say,
well, we're meeting people. That's
BS walks, but money actually talks. That's how
always does.
we can't say the BS word, but that's that's
Oh,
what
we
I'm saying.
can?
No, money
Oh, my bad.
money talks, BS walks. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's my saying.
Okay.
So so let's talk a little bit about I don't know, there was one thing I wanted
I mean,
to
48 project. I just want to say something. We can do it. You want to play the song?
yeah, let's
Something?
play a song. Let's
Yeah.
talk about our project here on 48th Street. That's a whole nother can of worms there. So we'll be right back after this. Please stay on. Don't go anywhere. Real estate, real talk. It's real. And we have a little bit of a dating tip here for you.
Yeah, we do.
We just talked during the break here. What happened just now? Somebody texted you and they said, what?
Yeah, somebody sent me the message. It came this morning. It says, "Hey, how are you?" And it's I don't know, the phone number from somewhere, Chicago, Illinois, or something. And it says, "Oh, how are you? Who is this?" And she's like, "I'm Colleen." I was like, "Okay, hey, Colleen, how we know each other?" She said, "We may not have met yet, but I think we'll get to know each other soon." And I'm like, I'm intrigued. I was like, how's that?
That's the way. Get somebody's number and just text them randomly.
Just randomly like, "Hey, what's up? You want to buy a house?" It's like, what?
I know, right? Probably. I got another one of those today too. People always want to just like, hey, what did he say? My ex-husband's name actually. Hey, Trenton, we saw your house. We're interested in buying it. I was like, good. Thanks for letting me know.
I was like, great.
Anyways, all right, let's go back to the topic. We have about 7 more minutes left, 6.5 actually. So a little bit of an update. Our house on 48th Street, duplex, been in construction and remodeling since June I want to say May, but it's actually June of last year. We had to do what we had to do. We had to change contractors, I guess, or move the current one out because, after 4 months we were supposed to have a finished house, and what we have now is an unfinished house
8+
and requests
months.
for, way more money than it should have cost. So, but yeah, that's another one of those things that's happening right now. And what we did, this is another tip, maybe you guys can use this or not.
Yeah.
We really thought that we hire a general contractor in order to save us from all the pain and suffering of trying to arrange all the different contractor professions and coordinate them together. But what we found out pleasantly is we just went to Home Depot. We have a couple of things that we need to finish, and we asked them, hey, we need an electrician, we need a plumber, we need HVAC person, somebody that can install water heaters. Can
And
you
even
send us some people?
And even the handyman I found up there as well.
Right.
Just regular for small
And
projects.
so the first guy shows up. He's an HVAC guy, and he can't do any work, obviously, because we got to do the power first. But what he said was like, well, give me the name and number of all the others, and we'll arrange to all show up at the same time so we can tell the electrician what we need for the HVAC to work. We also have a plumbing service together with our HVAC service company, this all one company, so we can work with our guys pretty well, of course. And let me write you an estimate. We'll have that to you in a day or two, and stuff's moving now. I'm happy again.
Yeah, and so far it's Friday. I have this major meeting with everybody, and it looks like it's always like this. And like you live, you learn, but apparently people don't learn, like including me. They you try to be cheap, you're gonna pay twice. It seems like it's always been proving. We're chasing that low cost, then you end up redoing everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't even low cost. We spent a lot of money on this general contractor, which shall be remain unnamed. He was actually on a show here before. But what I was
Nice.
yeah, and well, nobody knows because, we've had many of them on here, so I'm not going to, of course, defame anybody here on the air. But I'm saying is that I had my doubts from the very get-go. Things were developing not in the speed and the manner that I was hoping for. I pointed those things out to him. He had plenty of time to remedy this, and he just didn't make our project a priority. So he had to go because we blew past every single deadline that we had set for this project. And thank goodness we were on a installment payment plan. So I just stopped paying when the work wasn't being done. And you have that right. Now, I fully expect that he probably will take me to court, but I have all my documentation. We took pictures. We talked to other contractors. We have get your ducks in a row if you ever get in a situation like this. I'm not afraid. If anybody sues me, we will be prepared.
Yeah, and it's absolutely, it's so difficult. Like, you've been in this business. I've been owning restaurants before and stuff like that. And I opened a lot of restaurants from scratch. General contractor is such a...
So not very... it's prestigious profession, I should say. Maybe
be patient and be ready to be lied to. And I guess I'm not saying that the people who working in that business is like a liars. I think comes with the territory. It's a part of their business, because the labor cost changes. I don't know, the materials were changed recently, how crazy it went up, like the wood especially and stuff like that. So it's almost kind of like, do not blame it, but just be patient and kind of get your ducks in a row, because you're getting... I mean, you're dancing with the devil. Wait until the music stops.
You're dancing with the devil. That's the right way to say it. I learned a lot from this project. A lot of this I don't want to say until this is completely finished and done, but we will do some follow-up shows on this. Some things I should have done that I didn't do, that I didn't pay attention to, that I should have asked, that I should have gotten before I ever even sent the first check to this contractor. And we will make a follow-up show where I give you all these things that I've learned. And, of course, we all learn the best when we lose money and things fail. That's your life lessons here. So I will bring that to you as well. But you probably already heard little bits and pieces here and there throughout the shows.
Yeah, and all our radio shows, if you're following us, we do have a lot of, I guess, life hacks.
Life hacks,
we went through them.
So it's interesting. So I'm hoping we can finish this project within the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, and still kind of recoup some of the costs of having it sit empty and losing that opportunity, having to pay that opportunity cost because of lost revenue for the summer. So that's what I'm hoping. And I think we have a lot of people asking for places to rent. A lot of people wanting to come visit Savannah again since everything's starting to open up again. So this is a perfect time to move on.
Yeah, and a good thing is actually that's kind of like we don't like to finish it on the sad note or anything like that. We actually try to find everything positive. And the positive thing about this whole project, we actually gonna finish it up ourselves, and we're gonna do everything how we want it.
Right.
On our terms, on
our design choices, and not going through some design person that the general contractor hired and fired and rehired and refired. And it's just,
and
there's
they have
been
a
lot of
vision too. Like it's not what
exactly.
we see.
Yeah, the vision is a big thing of it. So anyways, we are now at the 1 o'clock hour. So this is the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening to this show on my YouTube channel later on. So Real Estate Real Talk, Julia M. Spencer, Danil Ivanov, anything and everything you need to know about real estate and real estate investing. You are listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great
your
Wednesday.
lunch and stay classy, Savannah.
Yay.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.